Okay, this is what's happening. So I don't want anybody to think that I'm making this up. So this is out of The Independent, and it's also in other articles. This is just a 3-minute read. So this is by Valerie Gonzalez and Giselda Salomon. So this story, it begins with Trump hits thousands with surprise deportation notice emails, including U.S. citizens. So for those of us people who think that this can't happen, be careful, because it can. You could get a letter. So when immigration attorney Hubert Montoya was sent an email by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security telling him to leave the country or risk being deported, he says his first reaction was to laugh. I just thought it was absurd. The U.S. citizen based in Austin, Texas, he said this, but as Trump administration continues to dismantle the immigration policies of its predecessors, more and more people are getting caught up in the mass deportation drive. So U.S. Customs and Border Protection is now quietly revoking 2-year permits that were granted in the Biden era of people who used an online appointment app at the U.S. border crossing with Mexico called a CBP-1 starting January 2023. So this process has seen more than 900,000 people enter the country. So the cancellation of CBP-1 permits has so far lacked the attention of formality of President Donald Trump's move to cancel temporary protection status for hundreds of thousands of people whose homelands were previously deemed unsafe for return. So this also extends to humanitarian parole for others: Cuba, Haitian, Nicaraguan, Venezuelan, who came from financial sponsors. And so migrants seeking asylum leave an immigration office, that's what's pictured here in the still photos, after their scheduled meetings were canceled, and they were turned away soon after President Donald Trump canceled the CBP-1 app. So this was January 20, 2025, okay? This was in Matamoros, Mexico. Okay, that's where the photo was taken. So those moves came with official notices in the Federal Register and press release. Judges halted them from taking effect after advocacy groups sued. So CBP-1 cancellation notices began landing in the inboxes in late March without warning, some telling recipients to leave immediately and others giving them 7 days. Targets including U.S. citizens. Okay, let's get into this. So Timothy J. Brenner, a Connecticut-born lawyer in Houston, was told April 11th to leave the U.S. He said, "I became concerned that the administration has a list of immigration attorneys, okay, or a database that they're trying to target or to harass." So CBP-1 confirmed in a statement that it issued notices terminating temporary legal status under CBP-1. It did not say how many, just that they weren't sent to all the beneficiaries, which totaled 936,000 at the end of December. CBP-1 said notices may have been sent to unintended recipients, including attorneys. So if beneficiaries provided contact information for U.S. citizens, it is addressing those situations case by case, okay? So it goes on to say online chat groups reflect fear and confusion, which, according to the critics, is the administration's intended effect. Brenner said 3 clients who received the notices chose to return to El Salvador after being told that they had to leave. Okay, so you can look at this photo, a Colombian migrant, Margelis Tinoco cries after the CBP1 appointment was canceled at the Paso del Norte International Bridge in the city of Juarez, Mexico, on the border on which with the U.S. Okay, so this was on January the 20th of 2025 this year. So on the inauguration day of U.S. President Donald Trump. So the fact that we don't know how many people got these notices is part of the problem. So we're getting reports from attorneys and folks who don't know what to make of the notice. This was said by a Hillary Lai, or counsel for the Justice Action Center and advocacy group. So President Trump suspended CBP1 for new arrivals his first day in office, but those already in the U.S. believe that they could stay at least until their 2-year permits had expired. The cancellation notices that some receive ended that sense of temporary stability, so it is time for you to leave. That's what the letter begins with. Okay, so it's really confusing. Robin Bernard, Senior Director for Refugee Advocacy at Human Rights First. Imagine how people who entered through that process feel that they're hearing through their different community chats, rumors, or screenshots that some friends have received notices and others didn't. So attorneys say that CBP1 beneficiaries may still be within 1 year window period to file an asylum claim or seek other reliefs. So notices have been sent to others whose removal orders are on hold under other forms of temporary protection. So the federal judge in Massachusetts temporarily halted deportations for more than 500,000 Cuban, Haitian, Nicaraguan, and Venezuelan people who came since 2022. That year. So after applying online with a financial sponsor and flying to the U.S. airport at their own expense, Maria, who's 48 years old, a Nicaraguan woman who cheered Trump's election, which she supported him, arrived via that path, said that the notice telling her to leave landed like a bomb. It paralyzed her, she says. So Maria, who asked to be named only her middle name for fear of being detained and deported, said in a telephone interview from Florida that she would continue cleaning houses to support herself and still continue to file for asylum. So The Independent is the world's most free-thinking news brand, providing global news, commentary, analysis for the independently minded. So we have grown a huge global leadership, independently minded individuals who value our trusted voice and commitment to positive change. So our mission making change happen has never been as important as it is today. So that's basically the article. So it's talking about, you can see some of the photos of people that were turned away or they're starting to get notices. So I'm starting to also hear on the news it exclaimed that some attorneys who were immigration attorneys are getting notices in the mail telling them that they are supposed to be deported, that they need to leave the country, and they have 7 days to leave the country. So I'm gonna try to go back in here. So U.S. citizens getting self-deportation letters. So this was 11 hours ago. The one I just read, U.S. citizens reveal horrific email he received from Trump administration. So these are people who are U.S. citizens. And then I heard people who are U.S. citizen born are also receiving letters telling them that they need to self-deport as well. So this one right here is recent. This says U.S. citizens getting self-deportation letters, and this right here, I believe it, I don't know if it's a video, but this, it says Fox 7, so this must be coming from out of Austin, Texas. So in effort to alert immigrants that the government is ending parole for people without lawful status to stay in the country, U.S. Customs and Border Protection has threatened U.S. citizens with deportation. So this is Fox's Jonathan Mejia, who spoke to a Houston attorney who received the email. Okay, so Ray Gonzalez talks on Fox 26, so you can look for it yourself. If you don't want to believe what I'm saying and you think I'm making it up, it is true that some of these people are now, as we sit here, even today on 2024 of April, here today, this morning, people are getting these letters. I'm looking at the date on my phone. Today is the 24th of April, so this is happening in real time. So these are not made up stories. And so all of these people who get on here and they want to say, oh, those emails, those things are old, this is not happening, those are lies. So don't believe the lies. Sit there and believe the lies if you want to, and then if you're one of these ones that might be in this situation, you might get caught up in this. Okay, so I'm just letting you know this is what's going down. So I think this one is a video, actually, so I'm not going to open the video, but you see this is here. This is what's happening. And also, I was hearing that some of the people who might be working with people on staying in the country might be hit with these emails, and that might be what they say might be harassment or intimidation tactics by the current administration. And so the letter, it reads, "It's time for you to leave." That's the first part of the letter, and that's what it reads. So U.S. citizen told by Trump administration to self-deport. So look at what I'm showing you here. Department of Homeland Security, the federal government will find you. That's what it says in the emails. Okay, so this is what is going on. U.S. immigration authorities deportation emails. So these are real, and you can look this up too, and you will see that it is not a made-up story. For those who want to get on here and make like somebody's not knowing what they're talking about, this is happening. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with that.